Jesteśmy na 2 dni przed galą KSW, jest z nami Kendall Grove, który zmierzy się w walce wieczoru z Mamedem Chalidowem. Aloha, first of all. Kendall, we've heard the story from KSW that you had a fight coming up and it was cancelled. And seems like this fight with Mamed was in the right moment for you. Can you confirm it? Can you give some details about it?
Oh yeah, I actually fought 2 times in the last 3 weeks, and I had another fight scheduled in Canada, November 24th, and that never happened. So I just was kind of getting ready for the holidays, and then KSW called, hey, we need a replacement to fight in our main event. And I said, what the hell, let's do it. I've been training, I'm in shape, I'm mentally and physically ready, so why not? And do a favor for KSW, KSW do a favor for me. They give me fight, give me work, and I'm just, like I said, privileged to be here. First time in Poland, and sucks for first at bat. I got to go against Poland's top middleweight, but that's why I fight. I fight to push myself and see where I'm at, and why not test myself with the #1 middleweight in Poland, which, who is Mameda. Yeah.
And you had, as you said, you had 2 great victories this month. It was there were quick victories. Any smaller or bigger injuries?
Not too many injuries, just little bumps and bruises that as you get after fights, like my shins, a little bruise from kicking, my legs a little sore from getting kicked, but other than that, a few days healed, ice, and back in the training room and getting ready for this fight.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, it's your first time in Poland, and Hawaii is exactly 12 hours time difference. So it's the best. It's the worst. It couldn't be any worse than that. So how you feeling? How you feel about the jet lag?
I actually feel pretty good, besides being wide awake at midnight. But I just had, me and my coach just had 6-7 hours of sleep right now. Just woke up, got another training session in, cutting weight. That's the only thing I don't like about traveling so far, is because eating all the food on the plane and not being able to work out and off your regiment. So just added a little extra pounds that I didn't need, but like always, it comes off pretty easy. And now I got like 1 more pound to go, and tomorrow's weigh-ins, and I still feel pretty good. And try and get a couple more hours sleep, wake up, and go weigh in.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, Mamed is one of the most dangerous in Europe. Have you had any time to set any strategy or to see his fights? Did you know anything about him before?
I think last September I was asked to fight him through a neutral party, and that never went through. And obviously this time I took the fight. It worked out, and I didn't really get to watch him up until 2 days ago. Watched him on YouTube. Very, very well accomplished MMA fighter.
Any weaknesses? Did you notice anything?
Swings with his hands down, swings with his hands by his hips, but he's very accurate. Hits hard. A lot of very unorthodox. A lot of spinning back kicks, axe kicks. Really good jiu-jitsu off of his back. Good arm bars. He looks like he has strong hips, and just by the way he accomplished those submissions. And but other than that, I think he's just a big piece of steel, and I just gotta chip away. He ain't gonna be easy. He ain't gonna be an easy guy to beat. I definitely got my hands full with Mamed. He's the best in Europe for a reason, and he's proved it in his previous fights. Took out Matt Linland, Jesse Taylor, Jorge Santiago, and I'm just stoked. This is what I live for. This is why I fight. I fight to push myself and fight the best guys and see where I'm at. And to have the opportunity to fight a guy like him is that's why I got into this sport, is to fight some of the best guys. And since getting let go of the UFC, it's hard for me to find this kind of level of opponents. And then when KSW called, I was just like, fuck, sign me up. Like, this is what I fight for. I fight to fight the best, and he is the best in Europe. And I just want to come in and put on a good show for the fans in Poland. My sister-in-law was here for the World Pancration Games a couple weeks ago, and she said MMA is huge out here, and she said I'm gonna love it, and I'm just excited to be here.
And a few days ago, I talked with Martin Lewandowski, the co-owner of KSW, and he said for this fight, when he was looking for replacement, he was talking with really a lot of fighters, and he contacted Mr. Shelby from Strikeforce and even Joe Silva from UFC, and he said Joe Silva called you actually to make you. So he asked you to take this fight. Is this true?
Yeah. My agent got a call from Joe Silva. I think the day before Thanksgiving, asking me if I wanted to fight December 1st in Poland for KSW. And I was like, okay, who? And then they said Mameda, and I was just like, shit, I know that name. And then just because of last year, that name came at me for me to fight him. And like I said, things didn't work out to where I was able to fight, but everything came full circle. I'm here 1 year later, and here we go. So yeah, very, very privileged for the UFC to throw my name out there for Martin and for KSW, and I'm happy to be here to start a good relationship with this company, because I hear it's the biggest company in Europe, and watching the YouTube videos of the show, it's huge. It looks like it was like Pride, like with the entrances, the ring, and just the crowd, the energy, and very excited to be here.
And is there any responsibility behind it when Joe Silva calls you, when he calls a fighter and he asks you for such thing like taking the late fight notice? And you have great wins lately after you've been cut from the UFC. And is there a chance maybe you will try to come back? Because every time a fighter is released from UFC, he has some kind of vision. He might want to travel around the world, fight somewhere else, or he wants to climb back in the ladder and get back to the octagon. What's your story?
Yeah, at first I wanted to, definitely, as a fighter you do, and I'm sure Mameda thinks the same way, being the best middleweight from Poland, obviously he wants to compete with the best, and I'm actually surprised he's not with the UFC yet. But yeah, I definitely want to get back and compete at that level, but right now I'm having fun traveling all over. I fought 8 times this year, and I love that. And when I was with the UFC, I fought 2 times a year, and then sometimes 3 times a year, and that kind of puts you in a rut. And but I like the freedom now to fight whenever, wherever, and then now linked up with KSW, which is a huge promotion. I like it. I just hope to put on a good performance to where they ask me back, and where I can start a fan base out here in Poland, and so you guys bring me back. And I know I got to be an entertaining fighter, exciting fighter. I put it on the line, and I've never not did that. You know what I mean? Every fight I fought, in winning or losing, I put my heart and soul in there, and I die trying. Whether, like I said, in winning or losing, I put it on the line, and I go out there and put on a good show. And most definitely, yeah, when people like Joe Silva call you and ask you for a favor, you do it no matter what. And it's just fortunate that I'm still in shape. I was still in shape, and still in shape, and I was actually getting ready for another fight, and it just worked out perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yes, and funny you mentioned this, because you said you are surprised Mameda is not fighting in UFC, and there's a big pressure in Poland from the fans and from everyone, that they want him to fight with the best in the best organizations. There are some conditions he would like to get from the UFC. Obviously, he didn't receive them, but there's some details he was telling about, or other people were telling about, and because you were in the UFC, maybe you can answer them and make it a little bit more clear. Because from what I heard, they offered him 20 plus 20. It's like 20 for the show and 20K for the win. So, but from what I know, there's a lot more money. I mean, like under the table, they are legal money, but you know, from the sponsors, from I don't know, some paychecks, extra paychecks from Dana, etc., etc. So, can you tell and explain a little bit more about it?
I just know, like, yeah, it depends on what your agent works out for you on your contract. Yeah, like sometimes you get 20-20, 30-30, 40-40, 50-50, and then I know the extra money is bonuses. Like I know. I've received a $75,000 submission of the night bonus and fight of the night bonuses, and they give you that for like obviously if you get the knockout of the night, the most exciting fight of the night, and obviously sponsors. That's where you actually make your money, is your sponsors. So other than that, any extra money, I was blind to that. I wish I knew about that. I would have been robbing those guys. Nah.
And at the end, as every proud Hawaiian, you probably have your surfboard. Do you surf? Do you have?
Nah. I used to boogie board, bodyboard. But we call that dick draggers. You lay down on a board and you surf. But no, once in a while I go longboard, stand-up paddleboarding. But other than that, I stick to the mat. I like to teach youth wrestling. My son and my daughter wrestle, so I've been getting into that. And me and my wife, we take our kids to the beach a lot. But other than that, I really don't surf or do anything else. I just stick to training and fighting. Don't want to get hurt, drown, or bit by a shark. Huh?
You got your own secret places. I mean, the beaches, like not maybe Waikiki, which is very famous, right? And maybe you have your own places.
Nah, I got a couple. I got a couple of spots that we like to go, take the family, and kind of away from everybody else, all the tourists and local beaches. But other than that, just. Yeah. And
at the end, I just remind myself, you have your own gym, right? No, you had?
No, I had my own gym, but as my career started going down, it was hard for me to balance my all my students on top of my career. You kind of got to put your heart and soul into one at one time, and obviously I still got a lot of years left in my fighting, so I just figure, okay, I'm going to continue to fight, and then once I get done with fighting, I'll get back into teaching. Mm-hmm. So when I retire, I'll open another gym.
Who did you train with? Maybe not for this fight, but for the one that it was canceled. So.
Oh, I was training with my boxing coach, Donovan Moleta, at Central Maui Boxing. All my students, I got a black belt from Brazil. His name is Igmar Santos, who's been down to Maui on numerous occasions. I fly him down every once in a while. He's like 200 pounds, but really good. He's a black belt under Leo Vieira, and he was out there. He's out there right now till the 15th, and just helping me with my jiu-jitsu, and obviously my boxing coaches, like I said, Donovan Moleta, Wayne Cambra, Chaz Moleta, helping me with my sparring, just giving me that clean boxing look, and so I don't freak out when people punch me. So, but yeah, training's good. I feel as long as I surround myself with people that I trust and I'm comfortable around, and they push me in a positive way, I'm good. And I'm set. I'm 6 out of my last 7 fights I won, and since I left the UFC, and it's all because I surrounded myself with good people, positive people, and we're all on the same page. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what I got tomorrow against a guy like Mameda, and take my shit to that next level.
So as you said, mahalo, thank you, obrigado, danke, and dziękuję. Good luck.
Thank you guys. Mahalo, Poland.